guys hear me? What up? What up? What up? How y'all doing out here? What's Gucci? What's Gucci? What's Gucci? What's Gucci? How y'all doing? Yeah. Podcast time. Let's do this. Podcast on the roll. Are you guys excited for today's show? I am. I'm sick. I don't feel that good, but I'm still excited. Let's get it. All right, so just me today. Mikey will actually join us on the call here shortly if he's able to. Hopefully, he is able to get us on the call. He's going to just talk to us about how you could turn around a losing team in fantasy football. So I'm going to let Mikey handle that because right now he has a losing team, so he's going to show us how he's going to do it. All right, so let's get to it. Week five is here, and it's officially been 1 month of football. So that means that we should have a good grasp on how teams are going to be doing rest of the season. We should have a good grasp on which players are going to be your, true RB1s or wide receiver ones as well. Who's going to be a starting quarterback? You kind of have a good sense now. What you're really doing now, you solidified your starters. At least at least two or three starters have been solidified for you every week. But now you need to find those players from the waiver wires who do help your bench, or you missed like you drafted a running back that you thought was gonna head off and didn't head off. Someone like let's say I'm gonna pick on this guy. There's one guy that I thought was gonna have a good season this year, and he did not. Well, so far he's not having a good season at all, and I'm so shocked by it. But do you guys know who I'm talking about? Let me see in the chat. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. One guy that I thought was gonna do great this year is not doing so good. Hey, Mikey, I did blast your record. I just saw that chat. Mikey, everybody knows your record. You're in the Normies League. Come on. That record's public. It's for the public viewing now. Anyways, so I'm sorry, I got sidetracked, y'all. Sorry, I'm probably the thing is probably peaking loud. I'm looking at it right now. Let me know if that's better or if I'm too loud. All right. So, what was I saying? I'm so sorry, guys. Scatterbrain here. Okay. So yeah, one player that I thought that was gonna have a great season, that turned out not to having a so hot start is Devontae Freeman. And I don't. There's a timeshare, but I just didn't see him not doing any. Like, he's not efficient with his carries. He's getting the yard. They're giving him the attempts. He's just not efficient with his carries. So yeah, I'm really and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones? I thought he's gonna have a great season. He only had one good game, and he had two touchdowns. The two touchdowns for total points for I think 12. It was like 13 points. So it wasn't like he had a great game. It was like goal line touchdowns. But I just don't get that. The Packers offense just looks a little different. I don't know. It's because of the new coaches in town, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Like, Devonta Freeman doesn't make sense to me. Aaron Jones doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, what's up, Amanda B? How you doing? But yeah, hey, Amanda B. So I have a quick question for you, girl. So, you got Dalvin Cook in the first round, and I think you had the 5th or the 6th pick. I can't remember that, but that was a great fucking pick, Amanda B. Dalvin Cook for your 5th or 4th. I think it was 5th or 6th pick. And on the live stream, I even asked you, what were you thinking? But then you answered me back. Dalvin Cook is balling. Well, the Minnesota Vikings offense is just, they don't want to pass the ball. They just want to run it no matter what. Their whole game plan is to run the ball even on passing down. So that Dalvin Cook is going to benefit. So if you have Dalvin Cook, make sure you get his backup, his handcuff, Matt Masson. Because if Dalvin Cook goes down, they're still going to run the ball. They're still not going to trust Kirk Cousins. So Madison is going to have a great. Alexander Madison will have a great. He'll be a great pickup for anyone who has Dalvin Cook. Okay. So I think Tall Mocha. Oh, Tall Mocha, you got a question for me. Start or sit Melvin Gordon? This week I would sit Melvin Gordon. I would sit Melvin Gordon. My thing is this. Look, he's going to play. We don't know how the split's going to be. We don't know if the team's mad at him or not. We don't know how they're going to do it. If they're mad at him, they could go two ways. They just gonna, they'll just have split shares, and they had split shares last year too. So I feel like he's gonna still get the same kind of shares last year did. He was never a Bell workhorse. He's probably he'll be a good, because I have him on both my teams. I have him and Austin Eckler on both of my fantasy football teams. And I'm probably not going to start Melvin Gordon until next week, until I see how they do this week. I just want to see how they play this week. And then and then Austin Eckler, he's balling. Like, I'm looking at him, and this is from the eye test, not stats, the eye test. Like, he's shifty. He could catch the ball. He could do it. He's another Melvin Gordon, but not as big as Melvin Gordon. He can't run in between the line like Melvin Gordon. So I would sit Melvin Gordon this week. Austin Eckler for this week. Start him. Next week, let's see how good this week goes, and then start Melvin Gordon. Because if I can even see San Diego doing what they did to what's his face back in the day, DeMarco Murray. What Cowboys did to DeMarco Murray. Remember what they did to DeMarco Murray? DeMarco Murray won a huge contract. He didn't get it, so they were doing franchise, and then they run him to the ground. His last season for the Dallas Cowboys, where he had the most fucking carries that he ever had. So I feel like I could see that happening with San Diego. If a pity like that, I guess you wouldn't call it pity because they're giving them opportunities. But I could see them running Melvin Gordon to the ground, and then Austin Eckler's value could go down horribly. But who knows? I don't know. I would say sit Melvin Gordon. I think I already said that 20 times. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. So what my takeaways from week 4? Okay, so what we saw? Well, Mr. Trubisky he dislocated his left shoulder with a slight labral tear, and this is not his throwing shoulder, so it shouldn't affect him that much. He may miss a game or two, I think. I don't know if he's playing this weekend. If he plays this weekend, they're gonna throw the ball. It's not like they were throwing the ball down the field that much, anyways. It's not like he's a top 10 quarterback anyway. So if you had him, you're just probably streaming him. But so he's gonna be fine. John Ross, the guy who's supposed to take AJ Green's spot while he's in injury. Well, he's on the IR now too for a shoulder injury. That's good for Boyd. If all those Boyd owners out there, his value goes up. And then maybe they'll consider bringing AJ Green back sooner than later, because of this injury. And then I think Stanley Morgan's value is going to go up as well. He plays the same position, same side position as John Ross. So I think Stanley Morgan's value goes up as well. Marlon Mack had a lateral ankle sprain. And ankle sprains are tricky. They could go either way. And then there's a lateral ankle sprain. So, it could be a week to 4 weeks. But I think he might play this week. I haven't seen anything from the Colts report saying that he's not playing. But if he plays, then we're Gucci. I was still not... he won't have a great game because ankle sprains. But I think Jordan Wilkins stocks goes up, and Naheem Nine's stocks goes up as well. Because, bro, like, the Colts are gonna run the ball. They have a great offensive line, and these guys they'll be fine. And then Christian Kirk had a high ankle sprain. This one's a little bit more severe than Marlon Mack's. This could almost be a month-long injury. And so Christian Kirk wasn't really doing that hot anyways, So I wouldn't. If you were playing him, he was probably like a wide receiver 3 or a flex. But the guy you should really look for on the Arizona's offense is Larry Fitzgerald. This dude is still balling. I'm talking, he's still putting up crazy, well, I won't say crazy numbers, great fucking numbers for how old he is. He's on pace for 92 catches, 1,200 yards, and 8 touchdowns. All right, that's borderline. That's not borderline. That's actually our wide receiver 2 numbers right there. So, if you drafted Larry Fitzgerald, I probably drafted him in the 11th or 12th round, you struck out and got a wide receiver too right now. I think those guys so Larry's values goes up because of Christian Kirk's injury. DJ David Johnson's stock goes up as well. I could see them using David Johnson in the slot role, so we could see that happen. And then another guy has been surprised. I'm surprised by is Emmanuel Sanders. He has a quad injury, so I didn't get much details from his quad injury. I was looking for it. They didn't give us like what kind of quad injury. It was like a tear, a sprain, a bruise, contusion, all the same shit. But so I didn't get much information on that. So his injury is like unknown. If he does not play tomorrow, then look for Cortland Sutton's value to go up. And actually, Cortland Sutton should be on everyone's fucking radar. Cortland Sutton is his targets share. If you look at his targets, he out targets Emmanuel Sanders, and he's like, let me just pull up his. I can't remember because I was looking up his targets. Sorry, I'm moving away from the mic. I was looking at his targets, and I remember I think one game Cortland Sutton had like 12 targets, and I'm like, what? That's like wide receiver wide receiver one numbers. Like Cortland Sutton had 12 targets. But yeah, let me find that stat for you. I just wanted to double check so I don't give you guys something wrong. Got to go by the game log. Sorry. Nope, I was wrong. He had 9 targets. Sorry, 9. Okay, wide receiver 2 numbers right there. So here's his targets. Okay, from week 1. Week 1, 8 targets. Week 2, 7 targets. Week 3, 8 targets. Week 4, 9 targets. All right, he averages about. I'm looking at his numbers. I'm going to do this average roughly in my head. He's averaging about 80 yards per game. You know, last week he had a big game. He had 2 touchdowns. I think this guy, from the eye test, looks good. He's getting the opportunities. That's all you can ask for as a wide receiver. Just targets. Just get those opportunities. They're giving those opportunities. And now since Emmanuel Sanders is hurt, he's going to be on the line to go up. And so those were my takeaways. My other takeaway is what we noticed about the Jets offense for the past 4 weeks is not the Jets offense, okay? The Jets offense that I know is the Jets offense that we saw in the preseason that I kind of raved about after like the preseason was over. I was like, damn, they actually got a quarterback. You know, Le'Veon Bell is going to do good. So I think the Jets offense is going to get better with the quarterback coming back. Damn, I can't. Sam Darnold. There we go. I was trying to think of his name. So Sam Darnold's going to be back. And also, guess who's going to also, not this week, but next week. This is my waiver wire pickup. All right. Chris Herndon. You guys need to pick up Chris Herndon if you guys don't have a solid tight end. He is legitimately will be a top 10 tight end. The reason he didn't get drafted well or haven't heard about him much, well, you probably did hear him in the preseason. But the reason he didn't get drafted well in the draft was because he had 4 week suspension. So, but his suspension will be over this week, so he'll be able to play next week. And if you guys want him, you guys got to pick him up this week because I'm telling everybody to pick him up, or you're going to snooze and you lose. Jalen Samuels is another good pickup. And the reason I think Jalen Samuels is a good pickup is James Conner. I don't know if it's the Pittsburgh's offensive line or if it's James Conner. I haven't seen that many Pittsburgh games. I just see the highlights. It doesn't look the same. He's not as twitchy. I don't know if he has, and he's banged up. He's been banged up all year long. He's banged up right now. He left the game last week, and Jalen Samuels took most of the shares. So, Jalen Samuels is a good handcuff for all you guys, all James Conner owners. Or you know what? If you guys just want to bench James Samuels, I would. Because if James Conner goes down, even if it's 1 game injury, you know, or even a half a game, they're going to run the ball to Jalen Samuels. He's going to be effective in the passing game. So and then plus, guess Ben Roethlisberger is not there, so they're not going to be throwing deep down the field anymore. They're going to be doing short passes and running the ball, man. Just trying to establish game flow. So Jalen Samuels is a good pickup for all James Conner owners, especially like I said earlier today, Jordan Wilkins and Naheem Hines are also good pickups due to Marlon Mack's injury. Another guy, and this I'm shitty about him because this guy, I had picked him up I drafted him actually. No, I didn't. Yeah, picked him up in week 1. He had a bum week 2, and I dropped him. Now I regret that I dropped him because he's putting up consistent numbers now, and his name is Philip Dorsett. Yes, you heard me right. Ex Colts wide receiver, ex bust. Philip Dorsett is putting up numbers. So I'm going to read you his targets. All right, here's his targets. Week 1, 4 targets, and not too bad. But he had 2 touchdowns, okay, with 95 yards. Week 2, 3 targets. After that, I was like, he's only on 39 yards, so I dropped him after that. But then week 3, 7 targets, touchdown, 53 yards. Week 4, 9 targets, only 10 yards, but he got targeted 9 times, y'all. All you could ask is for opportunities if you're a wide receiver. So they're targeting him. He's a good pickup. I'm not going to say he's going to be a wide receiver too. He could be a solid flex play. But if I were you guys, I would try to find a way to put him on my roster. And then another guy is Deontay. Sorry if I said that wrong. Deontay Johnson. He's a wide receiver for the Steelers. He actually overtook Dante Moncrief on the depth chart. So he now is legitimately now the wide receiver 2. All right, you guys need to add him. He looks fast. He looks good. He had a great game last game. So that's another wire pickup for me. And then I usually don't do waiver wire pickups for quarterbacks or defenses because, you're supposed to go week to week by that streaming. So, this week I would pick the Buffalo's defense. That's why I'm streaming this week. If you need a streaming quarterback, find anybody that's playing the Miami, whoever's playing the Dolphins. That's the quarterback you need to get, the opposing team's quarterback. All right. So I want to talk about some. Actually, you know what? Let's not go to trade values yet. Let's see if I can get my boy Mikey on the call. Mikey, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to give you a call, and then I'm going to see if we can work it through the Bluetooth. Can we work it through the Bluetooth? I'm going to try this, Mikey. All right. I am connected. Great. Okay. Mikey, I'm giving you a call, brother.
Let's do it.
What up, Mikey? How you doing, bro?
How you doing, Pat? Doing good, man. Can't complain. Sitting out here waiting to go back to the city, man. My bus is running late, which is perfect. It allows me perfect time to talk to you on your wonderful podcast, man. You're sounding great today, man.
Thank you, brother. Hey, so I kind of already blasted you having a sore record on the league.
Oh, for sure.
So how?
For sure.
I want because you're a seasoned fantasy football player, so I'm sure you've been in the situations before. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the same situation as you're in right now. What can they do?
I've noticed it.
What can they do?
So two things, and I'm not trying to sound like we are the shit, but we got to listen to us. If you listen to us, as far as like making sure, like Pat just gave you guys really good advice on who to grab on a waiver wire. You have to pay attention to some of the people that are available that are putting up decent numbers in comparison to the team that you have. You just have to be willing to. I keep telling people, yes, you have a losing record, but it's a long football season, yo. All you have to do is make the playoffs. All you really have to do is make the playoffs. Once you make the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. So, what you really want to do is make sure you pay attention to the waiver wire. Make sure you pay attention to the moves that you can make. Get you some trades in, like. Me, for example, I'm gonna have to get rid of Devontae Freeman because him and Matt Ryan are not having the season that they would like statistically normally have. Everybody's numbers in Atlanta are way down. So what I'm gonna do is find a way to make a move for Devontae Freeman. It's crazy because somebody tried to trade for him earlier this year, and I stuck with him. And it's like that's something that you got to make note of. And sometimes you might want to read the weather, read the forecast, and get rid of guys when their selling point is pretty high. Yes. So it's okay though. But it's it's a week to week battle. Make some moves. Make sure I pay attention to like some guys that I can grab and throw into some of my flex spots. And I'm going to make sure I turn my season around. It's not just confidence; it's just built in the numbers and knowing what we can do and can't do with your team, and also understanding that there's guys on other people's teams that can give you points that they're not even getting. Like you can just sub guys out for people that are getting points that aren't being used.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great way to turn things around. Another thing I want to add to that is, so if you're in a losing situation right now, so you probably, like, let's say if you're like 1-4, okay, or 0-4, it's still a long season. You, like Mikey said, if someone who's 4-0 right now could easily go 0-4 for the next 4 weeks. So it's a week to week situation. One injury could change the thing up just like that.
Everything.
So it changes everything up. So don't lose hope. But one thing I would suggest is for the people who are playing catch up is, yes, the waiver wire is very important, and you want to make those claims, make your claims. But obviously, you know, when you make your waiver wire claims, you can't claim every single player because they're going to be taking someone else. Someone may have a higher priority than you. So what you do is this. And
not to cut that off, but I'm number one on the waiver wire. So
you see, Mikey, you Gucci then. So you're Gucci then.
I'm number one on the waiver wire.
So you're Gucci. But where I was going with that was, so there's two tricks that I've learned along my way playing fantasy football for many years now. Is the first trick is this. So wake up around 4:00 in the morning. Usually waiver wire opens around 4:00 in the morning. And Mike, I'm going to turn you down. All right, sorry.
Go ahead. You cut it down.
All right. But sorry guys. But anyways, so yeah, wake up around 4:00 in the morning, set the alarm clock, do it. That should be after all the waiver claims should have already gone through, and then you should see who's all been picked up. Well, now you have essentially the second waiver priority, because at this time everyone's still sleeping. So the players that you want to pick that you're going to pick up on Wednesday afternoon, that you're going to look for, they're probably gone. So what you do is wake up Wednesday at 4:00, after the waivers are done, find the players that you want, that you get first on, so that you get them, because everyone's sleeping at that time. So another trick is this, is to I don't play defenses and kickers sometimes if I'm projected to have a good game that week. Okay, so if I'm projected to beat my opponent by like 30 points, I'm not gonna play defense or kicker or both. Okay, the reason I don't do that is because I could stock up my bench. I think a week ahead on players that I want to pick up that I know that everyone's gonna want him that waiver week prior. So if you do some little bit of research or just listen to our podcast, you'll know which players to think about ahead of time. So for example, what I did was I picked up LaShawn McCoy, and I think I picked up somebody else that I knew they were going to have a good game, and I didn't want someone to have opportunity at them on Wednesday on the waiver wire. So Saturday, I picked two running backs, dropped my kicker under my defense, and I played. And the reason I did that, because I was confident that I was going to win, because I was projected to win. I only do that if you're projected to win by like 30 points. Otherwise, don't do that. And it's tricky. Like, if you got a good squad, then do that. If you don't, play your defense and kickers. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. That's another trick I like a lot, is just to stockpile my bench and don't play kicker or defense. Because usually, you know what, kickers most likely if a kicker has a great fucking game, he's gonna give you 20 points. But an average kicker is mostly gonna give 8 to 10 points. Okay, defense, same thing. If they have a great fucking game, you're gonna get 20 points. But the floor is gonna be 8 to 10 points. So that's just 20 points. So it's really not going to break you or hurt you. If you want to just take a risk on stockpiling on a bench, that's my suggestion. And I'm going to take some questions that I see in the chat. But let me go ahead and get Mikey back on the call, because Mikey, you still there, big bro?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just turned you down because of the wind, but I got you back in here. But
no,
yes.
That's okay. And I also want to give you huge credit. I'm trying to give you credit for picking up Rashawn McCoy. That was a vet move. And that's what I mean. But if people listen to the advice that's given, all jokes aside, you can really turn your team around. And not to mention, it's kind of like equal opportunity. You can find you a system that can really help you just get over the hump. But that was a really good one. A pickup like that can change your season around.
Oh, definitely. I just saw John Haymaker's chat. He's going to go see the Rams versus the Bears next month, bro.
He is. I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah.
somebody said they was going to see the Packers versus Chargers, but that's
Hey man,
gonna be a really
I'm
good
low
game.
key
That's
excited. I'm low key excited for that Rams Bears game.
I mean, it's gonna be really, really nice, and it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna have some huge implications for the like the rest of the season because the Rams are actually in a little bit of turmoil right now. It's kind of weird to see. I don't know if anybody's watched that All or Nothing that they have on Amazon Prime
No.
Prime Video. They have a season where they follow the St. Louis Rams where they turn into the Los Angeles Rams. So they kind of like recorded that whole situation. They watched the turning of Case Keenum going over to Jared Goff and like how they really, pretty much the next year they went to the Super Bowl. So to watch that transformation, this is pretty much the first amount of like trouble they've been in since before then. Ever since Sean McVay's been their coach, they've pretty much been like, guaranteed to be spotted at 11 to 12 wins. They haven't looked like this since Jeff Fisher was their coach. So we're gonna see. I mean, I feel like my team, we just really need to get our identity figured out. The Bears don't have an identity
They
other
don't.
than defense.
No, exactly.
They
They just have the defensive identity, but on offense, we don't know if they want to be a running team or we don't know if they want to be a passing team, bro. That's what they need to figure out.
But when you can't do either one of them really well, that's how you don't really have an identity. We can't really run the ball because our offensive line is falling. They're not the same. Our offensive line is not as good. That's why even our passing game can't even be what it was last year because we don't have enough time in the pocket to complete some of those deeper passes that we complete. It's not all on Mitchell Trubisky. You don't understand? Like it's like Mitchell Trubisky really doesn't have any star players at the skill position. He doesn't have anybody that's a star at the skills position other than Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is, in my opinion, he's a possession wide receiver. At the best, he's like your second. At your best, he's like your second best wide receiver. He's a star second tier wide receiver.
Yeah.
So
I totally. He reminds me a lot of talking about possession receivers. So he reminds me because so everyone's going like discredit this, but he reminds me a lot of Reggie Wayne. The reason why he reminds me a lot of Reggie Wayne is because his ball control. He has great ball control, like able to like just pluck the ball out of the air, just like Reggie Wayne does. But both of them are good possession receivers. I think Reggie Wayne might be a little bit faster than Allen Robinson, but that's about it.
What I was about to say is like this is the question I'd ask you: who do you think is a better wide receiver for the career, Reggie Wayne or Brandon Marshall?
Oh fuck! Oh damn! That's fuck. See, I'm a homer. I'm a homer. I'm a homer. So I'm gonna pick Reggie Wayne, but I think people forget about Brandon Marshall when he was in the fucking Broncos, bro. He had those. Oh my God, those nasty catches. And he was catching balls from Jay Cutler, y'all.
And honestly, I feel like Allen Robinson is closer to more like a Brandon Marshall. I truly feel like Reggie Wayne is ridiculous. Like Reggie Wayne had some of that fast, twitchy stuff that Brandon Marshall and Allen Robinson don't have.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm interested. It's a lot of good football coming up, man. We're in a really good part of the season where they just got done with the first quarter. They finished like those first 4 games. Some of these teams have really started to round into form.
Hey,
I'm not like.
I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to go and answer Nick's question real quick. Nick is asking, should I trade Sammy Watkins for Larry Fitzgerald? You should 120% trade Sammy Watkins for Larry Fitzgerald. Sammy Watkins hasn't done shit since week 1, like someone stated, like Alex said. And also Tyreek Hill's coming back, like Alex said. And another thing is, like Sammy Watkins, there's never been a year. I might be wrong now. I might be wrong because I didn't really pay attention to football as much as I should like last year. That's the reason I didn't play fantasy football last year. But I don't know if Sammy Watkins was hurt last year. But as many years I played fantasy football, I remember Sammy Watkins being hurt every fucking year. There's always an injury. And then when I talk about an injury that's going to cost him at least like 2 to 3 games. All right. So I would definitely, he's injury prone. B, he's not like the Chiefs offense. They're going to spread the ball around. He's not going to be guaranteed 10 targets. He's not going to be guaranteed 5 targets. It's based on a game flow, based on matchups. So it's like every week is up in the air on how he's gonna play. But Larry Fitzgerald
and Tyreek Hill's coming back.
Yeah,
man.
and
Tyreek Hill is coming back.
And Larry Fitzgerald, he's gonna have. We know about Larry Fitzgerald one thing: he has a good floor. Sometimes you want floor wide receivers. Someone that you just want a consistent receiver, even if he's not gonna give you 20 points, but if he just gives you 15 points a game, or 10 to 15 points, that's not bad for a wide receiver too. Well, 15 points a game may not be 20, 30 points, but a good floor is consistency. So sometimes you need that in fantasy football. If you have, let's say you got someone like Odell Beckham, could easily go ahead and give you 40 points. But then in a week, like for last week, he gave me 0 points, but then those type of players are nice, but you also need those floor players who are going to give you consistency week in and week out. And I think Larry Fitzgerald is one of my consistent guys. Every year he shows up, bro. Every fucking year. So trade him. And then there's one more question, Mikey, before I'll let you talk. I know you wanted to say something else. My bad. There's someone
No. I'm trying to tell you, man, you're doing a really slim up job today, man. You considering I'm 1-3 right now. I probably should just be listening to you talk a little bit too,
Well, I think you're 1-3 because you didn't really get a chance to draft your team. You got auto drafted, so that might be.
And that's why I have to do some work. But I feel like it's a perfect teaching tool. It was fated for it to be this way. So you're gonna watch. And not just me, you guys gonna hear Pat not gonna let me just drown. Hopefully, hear him give advice, certain things you guys can use for yourself. And you're doing a really good job of giving out some of the tips that you don't get when you just Google how to fix the problem.
Yep.
That's good stuff. But do we have any more questions?
No, we don't have any more. I thought I saw a question. It's more of a statement. I'll read the statement. Okay. Let me read the statement because I like the statement that Amanda B made. Oh, never mind. It wasn't Amanda B. It was you. Dalvin Cook is good. Why? Pass. Zimmer says, haha. Meanwhile, Diggs and Thielen are dying slow. That's a good comment.
Dalvin Cook is so good that he's just forget it. Even on the worst case scenario, if I give this kid the ball, he's gonna. All you really need to do is get 2.5 yards every play. You get a first down. If Dalvin Cook, you give him the ball, he averages 4 yards a touch.
Bro, he is nasty. He's on one of my teams, bro. My only fear for Dalvin Cook is a fucking injury, bro, because they use him so much, and they use him in situations that I'm scared for his health. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. People don't understand these kids that come into the NFL. The real reason why, I feel like running backs should get paid immediately is because they're unlike quarterbacks. Running backs are a proven commodity. That's why it's so important in fantasy football because, guys like Dalvin Cook, he was a superstar at Florida State.
Yes, he was.
He was a superstar. He was a superstar at high school. He has been played high quality high quality football. He's taken a lot of contact from really good competition for a long time. And he's a freak though. That's why that dude blew anybody who blows their ACL and they come back that fast and they're as good as he is means that he's built for this. But the thing about it is when you're a superstar college running back, your shelf life is actually shorter, man. That's why some of these dudes got smart and started drafting some of these more unknown guys in different rounds because I'm not gonna lie to you, and I mean it. I've always thought they have a different expiration date. If you find a running back who didn't play in the SEC, think about it. Todd Gurley went through it too. And I look at Todd Gurley now after you've paid him, and he was worth the money.
He's worth the money.
He's worth the money. He's going to decline based off of just think about it. I'm saying if you find you a guy in the second round who played at whatever U compared to a guy who was a superstar at USC or Florida State or one of these SEC schools, the shelf life is different.
It is.
I feel like personally the shelf life is different. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I totally agree.
Le'Veon Bell is a freak.
I totally agree with you. I think, and you hit it on the point. Right after Gurley got paid, everyone thought he turned it in. He got paid. He doesn't give a fuck no more. What happened? He got paid, and when he got paid so late that his body now is on the decline. The money he got that money is pretty much you paid him for the years before that year. Essentially, that's what you did. Because he was on a rookie salary, and he was balling the fuck out. Like people were scared to play against him, bro.
And I mean, and I feel like now, and that's exactly, I'm glad you said that. I feel like now that isn't the same fear that you feel now. It's a different type of intimidation.
Yep. And like you don't see, like, Adrian Peterson was that type of guy. Gave you that like intimidation, that running back. You know, there was like, and that the next guy for me was Todd Gurley, like that type of similar intimidation. Like, hey, how like defense is scared to play against him. Like, there's not like right now. I can't think of another running back that scares me. Like, you know, if I'm a defense, like, gosh, like we gotta like, you know, do everything we can. Like, it's hard. Like a guy who's coming down on you, who's fast as fuck and strong as fuck. That's scary as fuck. Someone like Adrian Peterson, like, you know, that's and Todd Gurley. So I don't see another running back right.
That guy doesn't even exist anymore. Like the NFL doesn't get that guy. It goes back to like what I was like kind of sort of the point that I was talking about. Like they found a different kind of guy to manufacture like some of the same numbers they were getting from these bigger dudes in different ways, from little flare passes, like getting the ball to these running backs in space. And I mean, if you notice, some of the best running backs, like I'll say Alvin Kamara. Like I love Alvin Kamara, where he has really good balance. But I feel like his greatest attribute, other than like him being impossible to tackle, is like he can be a wide receiver, like for half of the game and half of his touches. And people don't understand, like Alvin Kamara is gonna play football for a long time because he can be a wide receiver for half the football game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's impossible to tackle, but like he catches a lot of balls out of the backfield. He avoids different types of like punishment. He's a different dude. He reminds me of like Matt Forte, the dude we had in Chicago, where like he could like Matt Forte was hard to bring down, and like Green Bay would tell you how hard it was to like get that guy down to the ground at certain points. But Matt Forte could be a wide receiver for half of the game. And that's probably why like he lasted here in Chicago for a while. We had him for a while. We had Matt Forte over here for quite some time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you know, he was that's a good comparison that you made with Alvin Kamara and Matt Forte. Something I want to go to the next topic because we're going to be short on time. Is I want to make sure we cover today because right now I think we're in a sweet spot because like I said, we're in week 1 month into fantasy football, so we know what our team is looking like. Who's playing good, who's going to be a keeper, who's going to be somebody going to be dropping. So now this is one thing you got to be thinking about. Like you said earlier today, like sell high, buy low. So some trade values I think you guys should think about is like, you know, buy. I'm going to cut you off, Mike, again. Sorry, one more time. Something that you guys should think about is like trade values in your. So as far as for me, I like to buy low, sell high, like everyone else. That's a good strategy. That's, you know, plain simple. Minnesota's offensive players are all the trade values are down. Steven Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins trade never really had much of a trade value. The only trade value who's really fucking high, like as we talked about earlier, is Dalvin Cook. And low key, if you really want to get into it, I think, well, I would try to get. I would legitimately get rid of Adam Thielen if I can, because you probably paid third round pickup for him, and he's not giving you third round returns at all. So, you know, I would be okay with this trade. And this is, and I'm gonna get Mikey's thought for this. I'm gonna getting him back on this thought. But I would be okay if I had Adam Thielen, and I do. I would be okay for trading Adam Thielen for Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me, but yes, I completely agree. Mostly because, dude, Kirk Cousins. So check this out. You said it last night because, you know, y'all, me and Pat, the show never really goes off. Pat brought up probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, man. He was like, I really believe that the Vikings offense is a factor. I think it's Kirk Cousins. And Pat, you know what, in the middle, you know what it really is? It's both of them. And if you can get rid of anybody who's a position player other than Dalvin Cook from the Minnesota Vikings, you do it, man.
You do it.
If you can get Larry Fitzgerald for Adam, listen, I got Devontae Adams and I got T.Y. Hilton, and these brothers are hurt. I'm finna shake the tree and see what falls down, man. And like I'm making sure I avoid those type of dudes who are rolling around with a bad offense and a bad QB.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not trying to be completely negative to Kirk Cousins. I do understand, like people don't understand, when they stack in the box and your offense is pretty much made for you to run the ball and throw some play action passes, he can't get into a passer's rhythm.
No,
So when it's time for him
agreed.
to make that one throw, like he missed a throw against the Bears last week, and people were like bagging him for it. I'm like, well, how could he have made the throw when he's been running the ball the whole game, throwing these little out passes, and you expect him to make that drop in the bucket throw? Like that's not how it works in football.
No.
I mean, it's rare. So
I totally agree.
Trade him for Fitzgerald. That's trade him. I'm sorry. That's the answer. Trade him.
Yeah, if you have Diggs, try to get rid of Diggs. Diggs' value is gonna be harder to sell. You may have to package Diggs with somebody, maybe like a bench running back to get something for him. Diggs will be hard for you to sell. I also have Diggs in my other league as well, so I'm trying to find a way to get rid of him. But yeah, get rid of Minnesota players except for Dalvin Cook. So here's gonna be controversial. All right, and this is why if you have Mike Williams right now, and he's been the last 2 games has been hot, but the 3 games prior to that, he's done shit. He didn't do nothing. All right, but the last 2 games
it was his matchups too.
Yeah, it was his matchups. It was his matchups. He was sick. It was his matchups. He was sick. But this last game, I watched. I think 4 or 5 drives with because again I switch the channels, so I watched 4 drives with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you know who's truly the 1A option on that team is Chris Goodwin, not Mike Evans. Mike Evans is 1B, not 1A. So and you drafted Mike Evans in your maybe first 2 rounds, so he's not giving you those returns anymore. Okay, he may did the last 2 games, but the first 3 games he didn't, and going forward. If the trajectory of this offense, the way it's going, I think, and it looks like Goodwin has more targets than Evans. So I would say if you have an opportunity to trade Mike Evans, trade him, because his value is really high, and someone's like, "Ooh, I could get Mike Evans." And listen, I can almost guarantee you guys this right now: you might be able to find a sucker to trade you Mike Evans for Devontae Adams. You might. You might even find a sucker that would even trade you Odell Beckham from Mike Evans right now because he was hot the last 2 games. All right, but going forward, I don't think he's going to be. He'll put up numbers, but he's not going to give you the numbers that you expect for the where you drafted him. He's not going to give you the round 2 returns. So I would try to get rid of him if you can. Try to get a round 2 return if you can. If not, obviously hold on to him. But this is a good time to sell because he's coming out 2 really fucking good games, and I'm sure you could find a sucker in a league to buy Mike Evans from you really, really high. Another guy you guys should think of trading soon as well. And now this is a guy you should never drafted in the first place. It's Todd Gurley. He's not giving those round 1 returns. His schedule is only going to get harder. His schedule gets harder in the playoff, like when you're in the playoff push. So I would try to get rid of him if you can.
And not to mention, I really, and honestly, Pat, that's a really good point. But at the same time, I must say, I don't know exactly what's going on with that. Like, I'm really, I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
The Rams, I don't know why I'm so interested in them because they're like a complete anomaly to me. They're a complete anomaly to me. I feel like the Rams, they started out with Todd Gurley on this rest management to get him ready for the season. But as the Rams go on, part of the reason why the Rams haven't been so successful is because they don't want to have Todd Gurley out there 25, 27, 28 times. Mm-hmm. It's really affecting their production. So I'm trying to figure out, and I mean this, as the season go on, do they start to use him more and break him off some of this rest plan that they have him on as the season goes on? So yeah, the schedule's gonna get hard, but like Todd Gurley is a beast. Part of the thing of like they've been trying to do is keep him healthy so they can have him if they were to make it back to the Super Bowl. So Mike, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you Gucci. So I don't know if you probably know why he's been like they put out I guess like workload management is because like he has like really bad knee and then his knees the problem with his knees like it's just fucking arthritic. Okay, so someone with an arthritic knee who's young, what they end up going through is they probably won't have pain every single day. They may get a little bit of pain or a little bit of swelling after the game or after some activities, but with knee arthritis in young people, it's hard to predict when the flame up is going to happen, when the inflammation is going to kick in,
Right,
when's the knee
and
going to
you
flare
know
up
this
again.
yourself. Like
Yeah.
you know this because you've been through it as
Yeah,
well.
so you don't know when it's gonna flare up. So like he like 1 week he like let's say this week he has a great game, and then in a week later out of the blue he knee just flares up and he can't play. So
So
that's a
was it?
risky
So
situation.
was it flare ups? Was it flare ups or was it? Or was it? Because and I really mean this because I could have sworn that they had him. He wasn't injured. Todd Gurley started
No,
the
no,
year
he's
all
just he's just
healthy,
an
like he did.
athletic knee. He just has an
But okay,
athletic
and I
knee.
thought. So my question is, do you believe now that the season is maybe coming into jeopardy that they will start to ramp him up more? That's the question. So like, yeah, we want to drop him, but what if they start to ramp him up more? Where like the answer to the Rams' problem is more Todd Gurley touches because
I
everybody.
agree with you, bro. The answer to their problem is this: more Todd Gurley. But the problem is this: now you paid so much money and investment in this guy. Like, would you want him for like a really good year, or would you want him, for good several years? I think that's what they're
Because
trying
the
to.
only real reason I've never seen this, bro, I've never seen where people low manage a running back because
No,
they run running backs to the ground. They paid Todd Gurley,
yeah,
and so because Todd Gurley is being paid, you know what? Thank you. That's why I wasn't
yeah,
debating with you. I was
yeah,
really
yeah.
trying to
No,
have a
no.
conversation.
Yeah, he's
I
getting paid.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree. You probably should trade him because they're going to protect their investment,
yeah.
and he's a running back.
Yep.
So, like, yes, trade, trade.
I would
I
try.
was just thinking. I was just thinking that maybe if they do try to save their season, that would be the answer.
And
And
you,
that's
you
all
know
like,
what?
and then,
This is like a Melvin Gordon situation. I think if Melvin Gordon was on the Rams, they would run Melvin Gordon to the ground because they weren't going to pay him. But this is a pay Gurley, like the Cowboys did to DeMarco Murray as well. They run his ass. That was his highest rushing attempts he ever had in his life. And then they were like, okay, next season, during the free agency, they didn't sign him. They just run him to the ground. That's what they did. So I don't see the Rams doing that. Like I said, they're protecting his investment. And another guy I would like for everyone, because he's a good trade low right now, and he is gonna be a stud. I think he will be a good top 25 receiver by the end of the season, just from the eye test. And I only saw it again several drives for the Denver Broncos. Cortland Sutton, wide receiver for Denver Broncos. Cortland Sutton. I kind of already talked about him earlier today. He gets consistent looks on that offense. Obviously, we know he's got what's his face. Used to be
Emmanuel Sanders on the other side.
yeah, not Emmanuel Sanders, the quarterback. He's from the Ravens. He used to be for the Ravens.
Oh, Joe Flacco.
Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
I
Flacco.
thought you were talking about his health.
No. Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
Flacco's for the Broncos, and honestly, Flacco's numbers, they're not that bad. I mean, they're not great, but they're not that bad. So when they trust him to throw the ball, they throw the ball, and he throws it pretty well. And we knew one thing about Flacco. He's a good deep ball thrower, and so in Cortland Sutton fits that mold. So I think that's another good low target trade candidate for you guys. And another a low target trade candidate for you guys, and you don't like this, Mikey, is if you guys can get to try to find a way to get a hold of him, because right now he's been a disappointment. And then it's not really a disappointment because he's a rookie. But David Montgomery, if you can find if you can find a way to get him because he's only gonna get better. He's still and the thing is, he's a rookie, and a rookie that's getting 20 plus carries a game. He's getting 20 plus carries a game. His efficiency is not there, but his efficiency will come more and more he plays. So this is a good time for you guys to buy David Montgomery.
If you remember, David Montgomery was one of my sleeper picks when we had right before this preseason. He was one of my sleeper picks.
Yep.
Just like we were just talking about with Todd Gurley, I feel like he doesn't have a rest load management, but he's a rookie. He has a learning curve management. Yep. I feel like over the next couple of games, maybe like halfway through the season, he's our featured back. It's not Tyreek Cohen.
Yep. You're right. Yeah. And honestly, I will also say this: I've seen them use David Montgomery in the passing situation over Tyreek Cohen sometimes, but Tyreek Cohen will play the slot, and they put David Montgomery obviously in the running back, and then still throw to David Montgomery. So he can catch the ball.
It's one of our most successful sets because that's the difference between having him out there and having who was the guy we traded to the Rams? I can't believe I forgot his name already. He actually had a really good game. I mean, not the Rams, to the Eagles.
Eagles.
Our running back, Howard.
Oh, Jordan Howard.
Howard.
Yeah,
We
yes,
traded
yes.
Howard. Jordan Howard. Like that's the difference between having when Jordan Howard was in there with Tyreek. It was predictable. Or he was out there without Tyreek, it was predictable. Tyreek and David Montgomery being in the game together is completely unpredictable.
Yep.
You don't know who's gonna run the ball. You don't know you don't know who's gonna catch it. They both could catch it. Nobody could run. It's one of our most successful sets. I wish we used it more, but when you're a bad team, you don't know what you do good.
That is so true.
I'm sorry, we're not a bad team. We're a bad offense. You're bad offense. You don't know what you do good.
And then the funny thing is, they brought Nagy in for offense.
Bro, and honestly, I'm trying to tell you, like, I heard Stephen A. say this, and I'm not going to take this point. You get fired for not doing what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
And I don't want to take up too much time, but, like, Drew Brees went down. And do you know one thing? I'm not saying, like, I know the Saints won 2 games and blah, blah, this, but it's one thing that nobody ever really brought up about the Saints is that their offense has never been bad. Even when their defense is absolutely horrible. Sean Payton and Drew Brees scored points.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that up to compare that to like somebody per se for like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has been in Pittsburgh. People don't understand. This dude was a defensive coordinator. He was a defensive guy. He had all that offense on that offense. He had all that offense when he had the triple Bs, and his defense was horrible. He probably cost himself a couple of Super Bowls. By
100%. Well, I agree with you 100%, so, Mikey.
Yeah.
Dude, when you have the triple Bs, like you should have won at least like 2 Super Bowls, and like they just needed a solid defense. And like you said, he's a defensive guy. He should have a solid defense. And you know what? It's also like if you think about it for us, the coast, because I'm a homer. Chuck Pagano, same thing. We brought him for defense. His defense always sucked.
Hey, bro. And guess what? He. And you know what it is? I forgot how to quote. It's the Joes and not the X's and O's sometimes. Sometimes it's the Joes that you have, not the X's and O's that you have. Chuck Pagano has got our defense looking legendary. When you got Khalil Mack and you got Cal Fuller and you got Hakeem Hicks, like, yeah, you're gonna look like a good defensive coordinator.
That's true. I guess that's fair. That's a fair point that he didn't have many defensive players, but I don't know. The Colts still don't have many defensive players right now, and our defense looks better than last year. 2 years ago. But anyways, I'm gonna keep moving forward because we're at 52-minute mark right now. Another again guy you guys should go and try to get you on your team by trading is trade for Larry Fitzgerald. I talked about it earlier. He's on pace for 92 catches, 1,200 yards, 8 TDs. I really like this guy. Not only he's used a lot, but he's all over the field. They use him in every single wide receiving position. He plays a slot, he plays an X, he plays a Y. He's all over the field. So look for Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's going to be another wide receiver. He's going to be wide receiver top 25 again. You were saying something, Mike? Sorry.
No, that's somebody else.
Okay.
My bus actually just pulled up.
Okay, you Gucci.
Hop on and head back.
No, you Gucci.
Hey, good talking to you, bro, man. Love the show, man. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Love everybody.
For real. Hey, thanks for being on the call with me, Mikey.
No problem, bro. Talk to you.
Have a safe drive back.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one, brother. All right, y'all. That was Mikey. All right. So, like again, I was talking about Larry Fitzgerald is another good guy you guys pick up because he's used all over the field. He's used heavily. They game plan for him, so they make plays around him. So I think you guys need to get Larry Fitzgerald. Another guy you guys should need to look for before your values goes up. His value should be up kind of right now because he's been having pretty good games, except the last game. DJ Moore. When Cam was there, DJ Moore was doing really great. If I say right now would be a good time to buy DJ Moore because Cam's going to come back later. If he does, and DJ Moore's stock value is only going to go up then. And I think DJ Moore is a good wide receiver too, y'all. He's a good wide receiver too. A good, solid wide receiver too. And another guy you guys need to think about picking up is Robbie Anderson, wide receiver for the Jets. Like I said earlier, Jets offense is only going to get way better with Sam Darnold. I know he's not Diddy Dime, so someone mentioned that earlier in the chat. But the offense is going to get better. Robbie Anderson he's coming back from the injury, so he'll be fine. Perfect timing with Sam Darnold. The whole Jets offense is going to get better because I saw the Jets offense, and I know it's just preseason, but it's just from the eye test. Sometimes you just gotta look at the like how they call plays and what plays they call in certain situations. They may not convert it, but just what are they doing the right? Are they calling the right plays? And from the preseason, they were. So I think I'm giving the Jets a lot of brag. I'm bragging about the Jets a lot now. I hope that they don't prove me wrong. I really do because I'm putting my neck out on this team right now, without much evidence of them doing anything good so far. But Roby Anderson is a good pickup. I'm gonna go to the chat right now to answer some questions. So if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and text it or write it out. What up, Jabron23? Do you guys have any starter sit questions? Send them my way. Any other questions? Send them my way. Let me get on the Discord. Maybe you guys are typing on the Discord as well. Let me check the Discord out. Josh Jacobs. You try to trade for Josh Jacobs. Hey, that's not a bad pick. That's okay. It depends who you're giving up, Caleb. I would check that out. Good pickup, Caleb. Picked up Goldman and Golden Tate. That's very good pickup. Golden Tate. That should have been on my waiver wire pickup for you guys too. Shit. All right, so let's add this guy real quickly. If you guys needed, if you guys haven't had a chance, pick up Golden Tate yet. Pick him up if he's available. Most likely he's not. But if he is, get him. Hey, Amanda B, you let me know which month you want me to help you. I will help you whichever month you need me to help. You just let me know. I'm down. Just don't be against when you're playing against me. But yeah, Amanda B, you just Discord me the month that you want me to help you out, and I'll help you out. I'll run the team. I'll do everything for you. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? I don't see any. Oh, nope. I don't see. Yeah, actually, George Kittle is set to have a breakout game this week. Yep, I can see that. Hey, Edelman needs to start balling soon, but you also know who else needs to start balling soon. This is also another guy I think it should be a good trade target for you guys as well. It's Josh Gordon. I know Josh Gordon's haven't been putting up great numbers. He only had one decent game. But again, what I'm telling you about you guys is it's all about opportunities. All right, it's all about opportunities. He's getting those targets. He's getting at least 6 targets a game, 6 or 7 targets a game. It's not a good wide receiver 2 number, but it's a good flex play. He's a good wide receiver 3 play. So, and there's weeks where he could break out and have a good wide receiver 2 numbers for you. So, it's a good time to buy Josh Gordon because his value is very low right now, and I'm sure you could get. I'm sure like someone like Sammy Watkins, you could probably trade Sammy Watkins for Josh Gordon, honestly. But Larry Fitzgerald, man, if you trade Larry, if that deal goes through, Nick, if that deal goes through and it gets accepted, bro, you pulled a heist. You pulled a huge heist because you traded Sammy Watkins or top 10. I mean, not top 10, top 25 wide receiver in Larry Fitzgerald. That's a heist. That is a heist. Clay Matthews broke his jaw in the game. Oh, shit. He's out for a month. Oh, crap. Thanks for that news, Amanda B. Look at you. Coming in the clutch. I have Emmanuel Sanders on my bench. What RB should I trade for with him? What are you asking which RBs you should get in return for him, or which RBs you want to add to your trade package with Emmanuel Sanders? If that's the case, let me know what RBs you have. But I think if I'm reading this question right, which hopefully I am, you're just asking which running backs are good trade values back for Emmanuel Sanders. So Emmanuel Sanders, if you would have traded him after that one hot game that he had, I think he had 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns, some shit like that. I can't remember that game. But if you would have traded him after that point, you probably would have got a lot better running back in return. With Cortland Starnes getting more targets and him being hurt, or I guess he's healthy now. So Amanda B said he's healthy now too as well. Um, I think Josh Jacobs might be a running back you might be able to get. Austin Eckler. So here's the thing: you could get Austin Eckler right now, and you're like, okay, why would I give up Emmanuel Sanders for Austin Eckler, who's when Melvin Gordon fully comes back and he is going to get the most of the workload. Austin Eckler last season when Gordon was playing last season, Austin Eckler I think was seen by 35 to 40% of the snap counts, and they were using him in passing situations. He's going to be a good floor flex running back for you because Emmanuel Sanders is probably what a wide receiver flex for you, or maybe a wide receiver 3. So someone like Eckler who's going to get you passing receptions if you are playing in a PPR league, that's going to help out even more. So a point per every reception. And Eckler's probably going to be he sees at least 4 to 45 targets. So what? Three he gets 3 receptions. That's 3 points right there. Okay, and then how many yards he gets, and then that's gravy. And then what's even gravy if he gets a touchdown. So I think he's a good flex return because Emmanuel Sanders is a flex player to me in my mind. Josh Jacobs, if you might be able to get that guy. Another guy you could probably get in my mind, if you could go ahead and trade Emmanuel Sanders for David Montgomery, go for it. If you're able to do that right now, do it. Pull it off. Do it. Because that would be a good running back for you actually moving forward, and he could most likely be your RB2 eventually. So, and right now David Montgomery's trade value is so low. I'm sure you could get Emmanuel Sanders for David Montgomery. I would try to get David Montgomery, Eckler, another guy. Honestly, Chris Carlson. No, yeah, you might be able to get Chris Carlson for. No, you won't be able to get Chris Carlson for Sanders. Because Chris Carlson hasn't been producing as much either. What Okay, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Benjin Hua, the Noob Empire. What is fantasy football? You're a huge fan from Sweden. Hey, thank you. Shout out from Sweden. Um, Fantasy football. Okay. So, do you know what the NFL is, or do you know what American football is? So, fantasy football is. You know what? I should have a good definition for this. I probably get this asked a lot, and I don't have a proper answer for you. This like a rundown answer I should have thought of, but so I'm gonna briefly make this explanation for you. So the way I would explain fantasy football to someone is this: when you play two American football teams are playing a game, you're gonna pick players from each team, okay, that are gonna be on your team. And you not mean to have every single player from each team on your team. You may have 1 or 2 players. However, that player produces in real life is going to equal to how he produces on your fantasy team. So, for example, let's say a wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, because I like Larry Fitzgerald right now. Let's say Larry Fitzgerald is playing today, and he's playing against the Cowboys, okay? And Larry Fitzgerald had 10 catches for 100 yards and had a touchdown, okay? So that means on your team, you would have got points equivalent to that. So if it was a PPR league, you would have got for every catch is 10 points. Every catch is a point. So he had 10 catches, so that's 10 points, okay? And then it's every 10 yards is a point as well. So he had 100 yards, so that's another 10 points. So now he's at a total of 20 points, and he had a touchdown. So touchdowns are 6 points. So right there, he's just 26 points right there. It is, if you know the teams, yes. If you know the teams, is interesting. But hey, you can always play fantasy football for fun. And honestly, there's other fantasy sports out there, not just football. I don't know if there's fantasy soccer. I really don't know. That'd be something we need to look into. I know there's fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball, fantasy hockey. I don't know about soccer, but they need to be one for soccer. I'm surprised there isn't one for soccer yet. I hope I answered your question. I should do a better job of answering that question. I'm sorry I didn't do a great job of that. Hopefully next time I have a better written statement out for you. Now I'm gonna have to be thinking about that question. It's gonna be on my top of my head. How would I answer? Someone asked me, "What is fantasy football?" Well, thank you. I'm glad that you understood. So that's all I have for today. There's no more questions. I'm sorry, Benjamin McCoy, you joined us late. But I'll be here. I'm not gonna make promises. Let me see how this our schedule for the Normies is this Monday before I say we're doing one for Saturday for sure. So I'll let y'all know Monday if we're doing a podcast this Saturday. Okay, but thank you, Benjamin. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you all have a great weekend. And again, Amanda B, thank you for being great and just modding. You're amazing. You're helping us a lot. And again, like I said, just whatever month you need my help, I got you, girl. You just let me know and we'll do it. All right. Hey, y'all. Oh, comment, guys. Should I keep Tyler Effort for 1 week or for the rest of the season? Let me look up Tyler Effort's numbers. I really don't know much about him. 1 second, bro. 1 second. I got you, though. I got you. Tyler Effort. With John Ross going out and AJ Green not playing, I could see them using Tyler Effort a little bit more. I just want to see the opportunities he gets. For me, tight ends, it's about the snap counts, how many snap counts they're getting, and then how many targets they're getting. So, he's averaging targets, but he's just not producing with his opportunities. But he's getting these targets. Okay. And he's playing Arizona today. Yeah, I would play him. I will play him to this week if you can, if you want to. I don't know who the other tight end is. If you have a better tight end, obviously go with him. But today would be a safe play. I mean, not today, sorry. Tomorrow will be a safe play against Arizona to play Tyler Effort. But after that, you could drop him. There's a bunch of tight ends out there. You should be looking for. Chris Herndon is another tight end. Ben Watson is another tight end. There's other two way capable tight ends that you could be getting right now. I would not waste my time on him. And another tight end to look at is Jake Goddard for the Philadelphia Eagles, because if Zach Ertz ever gets hurt, he's gonna be the one. And you had Delanie Walker, bro. Oh, you Gucci, bro. Yeah, you could get rid of him after this week if you want, and not even think twice about it. If you want to get rid of him right now, try to add a player to think ahead to add a player for next week. That'd be good too. That'd be a good move for you. So just drop Tyler Effort today and think of a player that you think is going to have a good week and everybody wants to pick him up. They're going to pick him up and you have first rights. So I would try that strategy with Tyler Effort. Try to drop him and try to get somebody on your bench, because him on your bench ain't going to do shit, and his ceiling is not that high, and so there's no reason to keep him on your team. But Delanie Walker is a good tight end, and he's a capable tight end, so you'll be fine with him. And check to see if in your league if Chris Herndon is still available, because I would add him right away. This dude is going to be a top 10 tight end by the end of the season, guaranteed. Okay, I shouldn't say guaranteed, because I'm hyping this fucking Jets offense like this, and I hope they don't fucking screw me over. Shit. But anyways, I think Chris Herndon and Jets offense are going to be great. They will be fine. I saw them in the preseason. iTels doesn't lie to me. I'm a good fantasy football player, and I'm telling you they're going to be fine. They'll be fine. All right, that's cockiness. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. The coffee's hitting me now. I think that was it. All right, deuces, everybody. Sorry, got sidetracked. Bye. Have a great weekend. You guys are amazing. Thank you for letting me allow to do this. You guys are wonderful. Deuces. Here's the end music. Yeah. We'll do it, Benjamin. I will. I'll say hi to all the Normies for you.